Morning.
Good morning.
This light is really bright. Give me one sec. Hi. I'm getting really close. How's it going? I think that's a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
I have this wonderful daylight, and it has two settings, and one is like ultra sun, and one is like sun. So, anyways, good morning. Welcome to Friday. For some of you, it is Good Friday. I mean, across the land, it is Good Friday if you celebrate that sort of thing. Happy weekend, I guess. Happy Chocolate Bunny Day. I don't even know.
Well, we're close to going into Taurus with the sun, so we're shifting into that too.
There we go.
So that all happens sometimes around that same weekend.
There's lots of stuff happening. And happy full pink moon.
Oh, that's right, in Libra.
My kid had actually asked me to take their camera because he's with his papa, and he's like, "Can you take my camera and take a picture for me?" So that's happening. Yeah, so welcome to Tea Time Togetherness today. Today we are going to be diving in. You may have caught us we've done 3 other videos around this. Times a little quantum as our numbers. But we've done 3 other videos just talking about this new transformational offering that I have created as an interweaving of some of the modalities that I practice and the magic, and they're so powerful and subtle on their own that I couldn't help but combine them in this way. I was downloaded the information as to this is what needed to be done, and so we, as well as one other person, have been moving through the transformation so that I know what exactly is happening. Yes, I am totally, this fingers crossed my phone actually functions properly. I was just asked if I am recording this so it can be watched later. Fingers crossed my phone doesn't act up. I've been having some technical glitches, but yes, I will be posting it later. So we've been going through these 8 weeks so that I know what the different modalities are and how they work, and I wanted to experience specifically this so that I can walk along beside you in knowing. In full empathetic, compassionate wisdom and knowing as to what you will be moving through, because each level has shown beautiful, blessed shifts and releases, but also some challenges. So my biggest challenge was at the my brain pan with this full moon. Just saying, words this week have been in a bit of a challenge, and quite humorous. Really, you can't look at it any other way than humorous, or else you just end up becoming like, oh my goodness, I'm just not going to talk. So you just laugh your way through it. So I might be giggling a lot at that throughout this video. But the solar plexus was my biggest challenge. I was very angry. There was a lot of stuff that was shifting. So I am pleased and blessed to know these things that you may also be going through when they come up. I tend to be, anytime I use new medicines and shiftings, I tend to be a prover. So with homeopathic medicine, there's a thing called provings. You take something and then you manifest those symptoms, and you know that that's what that medicine is good for. So I'm a prover. What do you think was your most challenging tier, plane, level?
Boy. Most challenging?
The one that you had the most intense, biggest shifts, or the one that you were like, oh my goodness, when is this week over?
Right.
I can't wait to move on to the next week.
I would say the throat area.
Oh.
Yeah, so plane 5. That one brought up like every single interaction that I could possibly have in every form of a relationship that's out there, from family to lovers to people in the community to the whole bit, to how I speak and like go off. It was activated huge. It was a close to the sacral part, plane 2 there, but I would definitely, my vote would go for the throat. Yeah.
So everybody's a little bit different. The other person that is also doing this as well, the third person, she's not quite done. She's a couple weeks behind, but there was a lot of challenges, and it's okay that I'm sharing this. Her and I have talked about this, and she has agreed to be traveling along, knowing that this is part of the process, and helping with the creation of this. But hers also was the solar plexus as well.
Wow.
which was very much makes a lot of sense, as well as coming from the feminine aspect of things and our self-expression and our identity, because there has been a lot of shifts in identity from being at home in the housewife, and the caretaker, and then now moving out into the world and still being like, no, don't express yourself. Like, if you express yourself in a certain way, you're considered, plug your ears for a sec if you don't like bad words, you're considered a bitch, right? And so how do you self-express, and especially in a confident way, without getting these labels put on you and being you're too controlling, you're too demanding, when really it's natural boundaries that we just haven't expressed before. So it makes a lot of sense. Also, digestion and nutrition and diet is a big one, and especially with the visual imaging that women feel they have to comply with, and how that resonates within us. But it's not just us within this realm right now, in this body, in this incarnation. It's also what we're healing from the past and from the future and for the future. So who am I? Why am I doing this? My name is Hilary Raven Porter. I'm an integrative healer, an ascension guide and mentor, and I draw upon multiple wisdoms within my toolkit, from esoteric acupuncture, plant spirit medicine, Tameana crystal healing, as a spiritual, intuitive, and channeled guide. I draw upon all those different wisdoms to help you as you're stepping over that threshold into your full divine expression, into that space where you feel that you are expressing as you and not as what you were told to express as. I also work with you as you're stepping over that threshold into your awakening and into expanded consciousness. You're seeking that expanded consciousness, or maybe you're in the throes of it and you don't actually quite know how to integrate that into your modern life, into the life that you have to currently live. And so it's how you integrate both together so that you are nourished on all levels and still functioning, but following the path that feels right to you, and not what somebody else has told you you have to be following, or how you have to be expressed. Yeah. Deep breath. So today we're going to talk about our experiences in the last two planes. Well, we keep saying last two planes, but there's only technically one more plane in Tameana, but I've created an 8th level so that it's an integration level. So it's not just like, oh, hey, you've gone from root to crown, sweet, peace out, we'll see you later. And you're like, how do I integrate this? So there's an 8th plane, or an 8th level to this journey that helps just integrate and solidify everything together. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm also going to be talking a little bit more about what exactly is Tameana. And what is this program? I have some of my tools in front of me here, so I'm going to be showing you those at the end. And let's see, I have some notes because today's a big one. Because today I am also going to be revealing the actual day I am opening registration.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm so excited.
That's super cool.
Like, I'm beyond excited. So I'll be opening the registration, and I'm also going to be putting out a special offer as well. So stay tuned for that at the end there. So, who's this person?
Oh, hi, my name's Derek.
Okay, so this is Derek. Full disclosure, he's also my partner, which I'm sure if you've seen me before, you probably already know this.
And I'm part of the 8-week transformation package.
He had, not that I'm going to send him to you for the 8 weeks. That's not what's happening. He's not part of the deal.
Test pilot.
So he's going to talk through his experience as well.
Sure. Would you like me to?
Let's see, where are we going here? Well, first off, let's talk a little bit about what the transformation is.
That's a good
Actually,
idea.
no, you know what? We're going to talk about it after. Let's just dive into our tier 7, and we're going to just call it tier 8 just because for ease. Yeah. So, let's dive in. So, plane 7 is Homage Taji. Homage Taji is our crown.
Boom, boom.
All the way up. It's our connection. It's also where the bridge is to move from this 7 levels up to the next set. So, do 20, esoteric acupuncture, and regular, but do 20 is right here, and that is, mine's really, how's yours today?
Oh, wow.
Can you feel that? Oh, no, wait, where's it? Can you feel that?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like this button, kind of on the top of your head, and the esoteric acupuncture point is a bit behind. Oh, that one's powerful. Can you feel that?
It's really strong.
Oh, that one's really powerful today. It's like the button on top of your head, but that is also,
Wow. Those are some quantum effects.
Yeah, right? So this I should probably.
More,
I'm just
please.
gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop pushing it because I'm having a hard time talking. Oh, that is a powerful day. So that is.
Wow. We're having a moment over here, just absorbing what just took place.
So it is also one side of the bridge up into the next consciousness, up into the next level of consciousness. That is the gateway. That is the bridge through esoteric acupuncture. But that is where our crown is. So,
yeah.
And that's just, so that's
beautiful.
what's so amazing about this modality, Tameana, but also esoteric acupuncture as a side note, is it tunes into those spaces. But those points, like I just activated the point on both of us with my finger, and
you can
energetic.
still feel it right now when your hands are gone. It's just leaving like this resonance of energy that's circulating around the spot.
Yeah.
For me, it's different for each person, but it's about that big. And then the finger was in the middle, right? So
it's basically if you picture yourself in meditation and your face is down, and as if you had a cap on top of your head.
Exactly.
It's right in the middle of that the esoteric do 20 lands, and it can be activated. I activate it sometimes with crystals, which is very powerful, and depending on the crystal used. It also, I can activate it with my hands. I can also have activated it with needles as the common, but also, so if you're afraid of needles, that's what's so beautiful about the templates of esoteric acupuncture, is that they can be laid with energetic pressing, with crystals. I've used the essences as well on top of that, on those points to activate them. So that's just a little side note that just came up from activating that one. That's one of the most powerful spots, and it's in all the sessions basically that I do. So, anyways, on that side note.
Okay.
So Homage Taji. Here we go.
Hello.
So this is the essence. It's combined with two others. There's two different forms. So if you have allergies, you don't even have to worry about it, because I can send pure essence, and it's just in an alcohol. But the main formulas within the program are actually a combination of two plants and the essence. And it causes a trifecta on each tier. That's a powerhouse. So we went through this with just the essence.
Yeah.
But we've also been...
every single day for 8 weeks straight.
Yeah. You take an essence for a week, but we went through it with just the essence, but we've also been playing with and getting to know the trifecta ones. Because
you're receiving downloads during the process, and then they'll be put together, and then we'll add them in periodically throughout.
Yeah, so that we can know exactly what that's happening. It's the information that I've downloaded. So, anyways.
Wow.
Okay. Welcome to the full moon. Woo! Okay. Homage Taji, what was your experience with the crown chakra?
Homage Taji. Okay, so not obviously, but for myself, because I get super galactic. So the crown chakra area that's up there, wherever you are. So if you were there, it peels it open more from whatever step you are in whatever path you're located on. So it opens it really wide. So that was the very first thing that I noticed. But then the second thing that happened was immediately everything that I was breathing, prana, the universal life force energy, chi, ki, ka, all the stuff from Egyptian that goes through your body. We're breathing all the time anyways. That became super electric. You could feel it like the waves when you're driving down the street and you see the heat waves going on the highway or on the road. Imagine that, but your whole body's kind of plasma like that, and you could really feel it. But then after that, it went like that, and everything became erotica.
Oh, it was so...
like your soul's like orgasmic connection to Prime Creator. Everything like just basically making love to itself. It was very fast. Every single time I took it, it was like this massive wave kicked in. So that whole line you hear, like, everything is love. Yeah, totally. Majorly.
It was really,
yes,
intense.
It was. It was off the charts. So that took place. But then over the course of the week, what happened, what will happen for a lot of individuals is it connects your cord. So we talk about how we live in this city, in this country, and then we live on this hemisphere on Earth. Well, then you also live in this solar system and in that region of the galaxy, plus the galaxy you're in. So it links you to the core of the galaxy. the central core, where they say where that black hole is, and that's the main. Those are portals to talk to other galaxies as well too, as well as transference points for taking like motherships and stuff like that. So what it does is it connects you to that cord. And then all those downloads, insights, information, realizations that you have as you're navigating your daily lives come through that source. So it opens wide up, and then basically the floodgates open up. Huge. Tameana takes it from you could open up the dam and let a little bit of water through, or you can like rip it wide open, and it just opens it wide up. And that's that water thing with the breathing sensation that goes in. It's very womb-like.
Yeah.
So fascinating. There's a few other...
Yeah, we have notes because there's just so much.
Yeah. Another one was the collective conscious. So this one's very tapped into Pisces and Neptune. And those two in astrology are very much based on the collective consciousness, crown chakra, and the seventh plane as well too. And 7 as numerology and a number is very much tapped into that life is not just physical, that there's very much a metaphysical, spiritual aspect to it. So it opens up that huge. And then after that, there was just so much coming in this time. This one was really fast for me. I was just writing notes all week long. Cosmic laughter. How does that fit into everything? So if you're tapped into the collective conscious and you're receiving all the information bits of our subconscious, conscious, dream world, super conscious when we're all activated, you also then can get overwhelmed a lot of the times with all the information, all the insights you see. Not all of it's exactly pleasant all the time as you're working in yourself and you're shifting your vibrations. So that's where this dose of cosmic laughter comes through. That to remind yourself to just play, be fun, and just have a really wonderful time laughing and enjoying life. And the two coming together was like, it was such a beautiful experience.
Well, and for me at least, and I think this needs to be seen a little more, like, sexuality and eros does not have to be so serious.
Yes.
It can be, and it has its moments, like everything, but also, like, to play and have fun takes it up like a whole nother level, and it's a state of vulnerability. But we are so hung up on having to be, as we're told, once again, patterning. This is the expectation of what erotica or eros, intimacy, looks like, when it doesn't always have to be that way. And it can be fun and playful, right? So homage, Taji, thank you for that. It was really interesting too, because we didn't always take our tabs at the same time. So what I mean when I say tabs is there are little squares of edible paper, and there's an essence on there, a drop of essence on there for every single day through, it ends up being, through the 8 weeks.
That's a wonderful comment there. I want what he's
got.
Yes,
Vicky, you can have it too.
That's awesome.
You can have it. But that's what, it was interesting, because I'd be like, I would take my tab that day and be like, this is what I felt. And then like the next day, and he'd be like, oh yeah, I took my tab and this is what I felt. I mean, it would be same, which is so intriguing. And I've also found this as well with the third person that's helping out. I'm very blessed that she volunteered. And the similarities as well that I'm finding through her experiences. So she's not even in this household. I don't see her every day. I see her maybe once a week, and then the sessions that her and I have, as per the 8 weeks, ends up being kind of 9, because you get an extra bonus integration at the end. But the remote healing that I'm doing with her, that I see her over online. So hearing her experience as well, it's just like the parallels. And that's what I love about this medicine, is that it meets you where you're at. But there's also a collective consciousness, because we collectively have a lot of the same challenges and the same things that are holding us back, that we are breaking through, and that we are eliminating, that we are healing, that we are releasing. So the Homage Taji also, like, I took the tab, my very first one, and I had this flood of light. I stepped into my light body. I became fully my light body. This physical left, and I was just pure light body. And I've had multiple out of body experiences, and I have Kundalini on a regular basis, and so I'm used to like being out of my body. But this was literally, I was purely my light body. I could see my silhouette as my light body. I was floating as a light body. And this full, pure, divine ecstasy. And it wasn't that all of a sudden I was like, oh my goodness, I need to have sex right now. It wasn't like that. It was like that. It was literally like being in the state of pure bliss after you orgasm. That just,
where, it's like the post state.
The post state.
That was in my notes too.
Where everything is like, you feel like you're just particles. And you're just connected to everything, and everything is one, and everything is love. And so it wasn't even a sexual eros. It was just pure conscious state eros of divinity. Like it was literally like floating in the universe. So if you've ever seen the movie The Fountain, if you haven't, I highly suggest it, with Hugh Jackman. Potent movie. I love it. And it's what that movie makes me feel is what this sensation was. Like when he's going up to Shibalba, and when he's floating through the divine universe, and he's like connected to his love through the three lifetimes. Like that's what this level did.
And it was interesting too, because you brought up Lightbody stuff, and that was another experience that I had, was connecting. It brings you a deeper connection to light and sound and sacred geometry from where it comes from, and then activates more of your light body centers from that point.
Yeah, but that's once again the gateway that's going up to the next level. So your light body is, I'm like, okay, I'm ready, here we go. It's like getting your stuff ready to go traveling. Your light body is now ready to go up. Can we do this program while working? Vicky says, can we do this program while working a regular job? Yes, you can. So as an example as to doing this program, and this is also why I wanted to work through this, and I wanted to have a couple other volunteers working with me through this, is to see how is this able to fit into our daily life as well. So as an example, I run my own business as a healer. I also work part-time in a fabulous, beautiful, high vibrational community market. I also have a child, and I also have all my own interests, and am doing workshops and paint and bake and have my own life. So I have all these things going on. Derek works a regular full-time job as well as living in this household with a child and his own interests that he does outside as well. The other person that is in the program also has 3 children and a partner, and she works part-time. And it allows you to integrate, and that's what I love about this, is you are doing this work on the side. There are some adjustments that occur, or that you will notice through the different planes. One of the ones that we noticed throughout is we needed more sleep.
Oh, big time. Lots more.
And also depending on which plane you're on, and also the level of intensity that plane level is for you. But what I've also noticed is that the depth of sleep you receive is deeper. Is that like describing something with its own definition? But with its own word. But the depth, like the other person, the third person as well, she has a hard time sleeping and sleeping through the night. Since being on the program, especially after each session, her sleep, she slept through the night like 12 hours, which is unheard of in her world on a regular basis. And so you might need more sleep. You might notice that your relationship to food shifts because how you're nourishing this body is different. And also the challenges of food and putting food within your system, and how you're integrating your environment. So there was a period where both of us, all 3 of us, once again, the solar plexus, had a challenge eating to certain levels. And we were like, what is going on? And then we got past that level, and we were like, oh yeah. It was different all over again. So yes, you can completely do this while working a regular job. You just might notice that some things may be tweaked a little bit, and you just need to honor those things, but you can still be going to work and doing what you need to do. Thank you for that question. That was a really good question.
And for when you sleep too, like your delta waves go way deeper. Mm-hmm. So that's fun too. So you can get super relaxed sleeps as well too, as well as just going like deep into dream space.
Oh, dream space.
Dream space gets activated. Massive amounts.
The healing and the messages that you get during dream space and I'm a lucid dreamer. And so my lucid dreams have been ramped up. To the point where I've had to be like, hey guys, you need to like chill it out a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the messages I've been receiving and the healing that's been happening on that level, I can feel it within the waking realm, which is really good. So, so expanded consciousness. We've talked about this. Like, I do this and all of a sudden you can't see me. Anyways, this expanded consciousness here. I can do this.
That's awesome.
And okay, so Vicky, you're just full of awesome questions today. Thank you so much. And you do the tablet, etc., at a certain time of day to get the experience. So that's something else that we've experimented with as well, is which time of day to take it. I take mine at night because it makes me tired. I might get activated first and have the intensity, like I explained, the light body and that, and I was like, okay, but then I get really tired, whereas Derek gets super activated. And so for him, he takes it in the morning. The other person as well, I suggested she take it whenever felt comfortable. And so I'm very big on using your intuition as to when this tablet needs to be taken. But I do suggest either in the morning, before the middle, because if you're doing it like midday, you're kind of in the middle of, I don't want to say the chaos, but often midday we're like, have a lot going on. And so it's either doing it in the morning when you're just coming out of sleep state and you're starting to get into your day, or at night when everything is coming to a close. And highly suggest you either let's say you take it at night, you're like, oh, this makes me activated, then you just switch to taking it in the morning. I'm so excited for you to do it as well.
It's super cool.
So the Homage Taji. So I wrote down, and this is totally what it was for myself, was divine ecstasy connected into the full consciousness of love and eros.
Wow.
Because it is this divine ecstasy, but you're just like, I was in tears and in awe, and just that, like, when you come upon a glade, it reminded me of when you come upon a glade, or for me, the forest does this, come upon the cedars with the moss and that smell, and it's just like this opening, and you just have to stop and take in, because it's so beautiful, and it just triggers something in you, and that, like, overwhelming just joy and love and light and eros from nature. That's what this level did for me. Mm-hmm. So beautiful. I put so with tons of underlines, and it was like this every day that I took it for the 7 days. The same, like literally, I would take it and be like, oh, I'm feeling a little amorous all of a sudden. Like it was every single, and it wouldn't necessarily last throughout the day, but what I found is it would be that intensity and just be like, oh, hello, and then the rest of the day would just be like this open, watery connectedness with everything. So it wouldn't be that I was in an aroused state all day, but I was definitely, the feelers, the tentacles were out of just connection. So that's what I found with Homage Taji. A little bit, you know. So the 8th plane, that's not 8, that's 4. 8th plane, this full moon, is all about Super 7. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what Super 7 is first, and then we will talk about what we experienced during these planes. So Super 7 is a crystal. So during the eclipse at the end of January, I made a collection. Do you remember how many we made?
Oh,
22?
22 plus 7, 29.
We did 29 essences on the windowsill in the light of the full moon eclipse that was happening. And it was the symbols, which I will be showing you shortly, the pucks. So it was those symbols from Tameana. So I made the essences with that. And then we did a whole bunch of crystals as well. And we powered them up. Derek used his beautiful Reiki magic, and he powered them up that way. My kidlet has some little powers as well, so he went in and tuned them up. I went in as well as cleared them and tuned them up and activated all the symbols. And we actually had some of the crystals change colors.
Yep.
But we left them there for 2 nights, 3 days, and so it actually brought in the energy of Venus as well, Venus and Jupiter.
And these were like potent, noticeable differences, like very
from like green
strong
to like darker blue, from a crystalline white to like a grayish. Oh, it was very powerful. So one of the ones that we made was this beauty. Can you see that guy?
I love Super 7.
So this is Super 7. This is my, I thought I had lost him with my magic kit. I was actually having a bit of a meltdown this morning.
It's
like,
here.
No, but I found him. So if you can see him, Look how beautiful it is. So this is a combination of 7 different crystals that are found together. Even if they're not exactly in the piece that you have, energetically, they are all considered combined. So let's see, what is in here? We have amethyst, smoky quartz, regular quartz, rutile, geothite, lepidocrosite, and cacosinite. So what this is, this is the essence of the crystal for the end. So this crystal alone, so it's a vibration of the whole. It reminds you that you are a child of the stars. It aligns all the chakras and balances all the chakras. It activates your subtle bodies, aligns you to your highest spiritual vibrations. It also activates your spiritual gifts and enhances the metaphysical workings within you and around you. And it heals psychic, intellectual, and spiritual dis-ease. So it allows your soul to communicate with the divine. So the reason, no wonder you two are such glowing, happy souls. Oh, thanks, Vicky. So the reason I chose to do this as the 8th level, and once again, I said it at the beginning, I didn't want it to be like, hey, we went from root to crown. Hey, peace, you're done.
Right.
Have fun with that. We'll see you later. No, I really fully believe in integration. So at the end of my sessions, so like my esoteric acupuncture sessions and my Tameana sessions are an hour and a half to allow for an integration time at the end of each session. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, hey, you're done, peace out, okay, have fun, good luck on your way home. No, sometimes you need an integration at the end, sometimes you don't. But this is 8 weeks. 7 weeks of moving through the planes and then the 1 week. So this week is the one that allows you to integrate down and align the chakras and just kind of like hold you in again, because really you end up being very like this, which is beautiful, but you still need to be able to walk within the world and integrate stuff. When you have such shifts, whether or not they're subtle, because subtle is powerful, we have this thing where it's like, no, it's not working unless I'm like knocked on my ass. Well, no, not true.
No.
Not true at all. And so you still need to be contained and you still need to be able to integrate. It doesn't mean that you're like, oh yeah, okay, sweet, I'm done, totally good. No, these resonate and ripple out and vibrate through and continue to move through you on the unseen subtle levels.
Exactly what I was going to say, the subtle levels. And that question earlier about can you do the program while you're at work? You can do it anywhere you want. But if you have a little bit of time to put into super relaxing, then you can pay attention to how the most minimal amount can be extremely potent, because you're attuning to it and giving the time to really feel it instead of just being busy all day and it passes you by.
100%.
But it's going to work 24/7.
And that's
Super 7's amazing.
Super 7's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's one thing with the program too. We do go over not necessarily time of day to take the tab, because it's all, like I said, it's all dependent on you and how the tab ends up affecting you. You'll find how it does. But also, I do go through not to take it around food at least 20 minutes before, 20 minutes after, only to take, like, set it in your mouth and let it dissolve, that kind of thing, to allow it a chance to be placed within your energetic field on its own and not influenced or washed away by something else, right? So that is something that we do talk about, and that is guidance that I do offer during the program. And what's a beautiful thing too is you're asking about the tablets, but also asking about moving through the workday. And what's beautiful is between the crystal sessions, you actually have access to me during the transformation via Voxer, which is like a walkie-talkie app. So you can send me voice messages, you can also send me video, and you also have access via email in between the sessions. So as things are coming up, it's not just like, hey, we've had a session, okay, peace out, I'll see you next session in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You actually can be in touch with me through those other modes, so you can get support while you're going through these shifts. Or if you're like, is this shift, I don't like to say normal, but is this to be expected? How do I move through this shift? Are there any other tools? And then I offer those while you're moving through this. Okay, Super 7. We now know what Super 7 is.
Super 7.
I can't feel many.
So basically, when you were talking about the subtleties that are going on, so the very first thing I noticed was, so after you're done, you're left hanging. No. It brought everything down and grounded it all, and then lightly went up. Like that. So like your ankles, your knees, your hips, they get like reinforced That's Super 7 medicine. So that you're grounded in the new effects, and then it matches your vibration, your frequency that you're at, so that your energetics line up perfectly with how that chooses to ground and bring things back up. But it did kind of throughout the week continuously animate like that. And each pass would just be a little bit more subtler. And it was almost like you were reviewing everything that took place. Right? Because it has all the 7 crystals in there that make up the chakra points as well too, which is interesting. And then I noticed that your auric field, so it's about 9 to 10 feet from your body, but it fluctuates depending on your mood and your state of that day. And you can get it up to 30 feet with doing some really, super vibrational work, and wearing white, of course, all white, head to toe. So the point is that when you go through that and you're feeling the sensations of where your auric field is, no matter what level you're at, it feels a little bit stronger. It's like that 8th plane that we're kind of going off with is like the 8th layer of the auric field. And that's the shell that holds everything that passes through your physical body. It's multidimensionary, right? So there's other things at play, but everything that comes from there, and then from there, those are the galactic planes that go off. But it also aids you in seeing auras in others, or starting to pick up a little bit on the energy fields that are really going on. It's really cool. And then I found it really interesting is it has a hypercolor effect.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. So hence when you're reviewing your process, right? Then you're able to go in there and you're working with all the colors at all points, and then it just goes, well, you got a little bit left going on in your third eye. You have a little bit back in your cranial region. Okay, we're going to go down to your hips and tweak a little bit there. That's actually a little closer to your root or your earth chakra that's below your feet, because it taps into all of them together. So that was fascinating on that end. Super cool. It also smoothed a lot of the edges. So anything that you were working on, a pattern that came up, or a shift in your eating or your sleeping or whatever it was, as the week progressed, it was really like refining the edges. You're almost like working with what would be giving yourself an example of how you could master where you wanted to go. Gives you a taste of it, something that you won't forget. It goes into your subconscious and it's lodged right in there, and it makes sure that when you want to access it down the road, that database will be ready for you. Super cool. So that was amazing. And I found that it also so Super 7 amplifies other crystals around it too.
Yeah.
And gets them activated. So I found that effect transferred into your human body. And then that was activating other things around you. So you were like a booster pack for others when you walk down the street. If you're feeling a little bit more glowing that day, then others are more glowing too.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to pick up another crystal, you might notice that this is a little stronger than it was last week.
Yeah.
So it ramps it up kind of like that too. It was very meditative as well too, like.
And that's one thing that you definitely, I noticed throughout the program, as well as has been noticed. You just expressed it, as well as, so all 3 of us have recognized and seen an increase in divine interactions and within the spirit realm, showing us messages, one, and giving us answers to questions that we are either thinking out loud or that we're thinking within our subconscious, or clarity that we are seeking as well. And it can be messages either, I know for us, we hear a lot like within our brain, we get a lot of downloads that way, but also within your environment, somebody else may come out and express. I know there is an expression of, I don't feel like I fit in. And then all of a sudden within that day, somebody came up and was like, you know what, I really appreciate you being here. I've totally loved that you were on our team. And then, so it was like outward expression from somebody else. It can be divine messaging through numbers. It can be divine messaging through news, through things that come in and out of your life. And also the presence of, they can show up as shadows, but often the presence, you know that there's other entities around, because, you know, when you catch them out of the corner of your eye and you're just like, oh, I had some dancing with me the other day when I was at work.
Yeah.
They're just like, I kept on thinking one of my coworkers was coming in and hanging out with me, and all of a sudden I looked over and I was like, no, they're not there. But it was like this entity that just was so happy to be there. And so that's ramped up, and we already experienced that quite a bit. But also for the third person moving through this as well, it's been very yeah, it's been ramped up.
And when you have spirit guides having fun like that, that taps more into that cosmic laughter because it's so light and playful.
Yeah, some of them are, so I want to just caution against, I love that you said spirit guides, but sometimes it's not our actual direct guides. It's just other entities that are around coming to interact with us. Some of them are our guides, and that's why it's also really important to have a mentor, especially when you're starting into these levels and into these tiers of awakening and expanded consciousness, is to be able to tell the difference between if somebody, because they are buddies, if somebody's intent is genuine intent or is something for purposes that aren't necessarily for the benefit or the good of all.
Yeah. Which is so true, because when you walk down, say you're walking down the street and there's a lot of people on the street, in the astral and etheric planes, there's a mass populace too there as well. So
Vicky has asked, when can I start? Well, I was going to wait till the end to talk about that. But since you asked, I will say a little bit earlier before I dive into, so Super 7 well, I'll just say this first so that we're still on Super 7. Super 7, for me, it was literally, I did not write much down because it was just a cohesion. It literally, every time I took a tab, I would feel it start here and go, and just kind of like, but like as it went down, it was like, and it was just kind of like kink, 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 locking everything in place. And it brings up the image of like, you know, when you have metal links, but they're still, it's like those chains, but they're still like this. Yeah. So it was like gunk, 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 but they're still fluid and able to shift and shuffle.
Cool.
So that was that. So before I dive into a little bit more about what the Tameana, what the transformation looks like, Vicky has asked, when can she start? And when can you all start as well? So I'm very excited because so I've had the waitlist open. So if you're already on the waitlist, the little special that is coming up, you will also be eligible for that as well. So it's an even better blessing and a gift. But I'm so excited to be offering this, starting with the doors opening. Registration, you can register starting Monday. So Monday the 22nd of April is when I'll be opening the doors officially online. You're going to be able to find the link through my bio. And you'll be able to go in and register. And if you register next week, so from the 22nd until the 26th, so all of next week, yeah, woohoo! The first 5 people to register next week, so register and pay in full, will actually receive 22% off the full cost. So that's on over $300 savings. And so that's for the first 5 people that register and pay in full. The sessions will be open for booking starting in May. But yeah, registration starts next week. So the first 5, so if you're already on the wait list, you can pop on over and register, and because everybody on the wait list was receiving 11% off. So be one of the first 5 and you'll bump it up from 11% to 22% off. So from over $150 savings to over $300 savings. Yeah, so that is going to be open on Monday. I will also put a little post up here as a little, hey, guess what? It's actually officially open. I'm so super excited for it. And if you're at a distance, so I am located in beautiful, gorgeous Victoria, BC. If you are at a distance, do not be afraid and be blessed. This can happen at a distance as well. This is actually powerful medicine at a distance. Multiple of my clients who I work with for Tameana itself are at a distance. This medicine. So what is Tameana? So I keep going about Tameana. If you haven't caught it before, I've talked about it in other videos. You can go over to YouTube or Facebook and check it out. I've posted my videos on there as well. But let me give you a quick little rundown of this beautiful Tameana. So Tameana is a practice that is a high vibrational medicine that connects into the Pleiadian guides. The Pleiadian guides come down, also sessions through me. I also channel in my 7 sisters, of one which I am 8, and they all come in and they do the different levels of psychic surgeries. They go in, they put things in, they remove things. My last session, no, 2 sessions ago, I actually, once they hit the solar plexus, I was gone. Like, they were just like, here you go, and Derek saw Sarah, like, take me through a portal, and then I came back right when they came back to the crown chakra, and all this stuff happened while I was over there, and stuff happens physically, psychically, spiritually. It is, is very, very divine.
So it was amazing.
It was a very, that one was a very intense one. I ended up, after that one, coming out and channeling a whole bunch of stuff. I had to hop in the tub. Water is my healer. And I had to go in the tub, and I was like, I had giraffe medicine. I was like walking like a giraffe. It was pretty, it was pretty actually crazy. But it works on a fifth and sixth dimensions, and it goes in and it shuffles things around, and it removes things that you don't need. It inserts things. It helps add power to areas that you need it. Sometimes it just gently shifts things and allows you the comfort that you need in that space at that time. So if you're not in that level to be working on at that moment, they're like, okay, well, let's do a little bit of shuffling here, but this is the space we're going to work on. So every single plane is worked on. The 7 planes and the 7 planes within the planes are all worked on during each session, but to the capacity that you need in that moment. So it's not like every single plane is getting broken down and rebuilt every single time. That's not how this works. So it's based on crystals and symbols that were channeled by a gentleman in Peru. Not the crystals channeled, but the symbols. So there's a set of symbols. So these are these lovely little pucks that I've made, and they all have different symbols. You can see they're color-coded because they do align with the chakra levels. So for example, today we were talking about homage taji, right? So these are laid down within a line on each side. If you were at a distance from me, I lay them down as if your body is here, and the energy and the work is actually sent over to you and through you, because as we've been talking about, we're all connected through the consciousness. And so that's what's happening, is I'm tuning into the consciousness, and you still receive the medicine. So there are those ones. Those are the regular symbols that go alongside. And then there's the master symbols. So the master symbols are chosen. I do them multiple different ways. I will either shuffle. So for me, I shuffle. We were playing crib this morning, and I was shuffling the cards, and for me, stuff just pops out, and it's like, hey, don't forget about me. And so what did I flip? I flipped a 5.
A 5.
And then 2 9s.
2 9s.
And it was the same 9 twice.
Yeah.
Right? And so I will either shuffle, or I will use my pendulum, or I will literally just look down and be like, oh, that's the one. And it's the only thing that I can see obscured by everything. Like everything else is obscured, right? So then this symbol goes at the top, because everything is laid out in a triangular fashion. And I move, everything is laid out in a triangular fashion. So these are my lovely crystals. So these are laid out on the symbols in a triangular fashion. We work from plane 1 all the way up to plane 7. And the crystals are activated at each level. So I activate the top master, the 2 sides, and then I sit. And my guides go in, and they do what they need to do, and I sit, and any channel guidance that comes through me, I write down. I get visuals, I get words, I get sensations in my body. I write all of this down, and all of this is sent to you after each session. And after each session's an hour and a half, we actually talk about what's happening, what I saw, what you felt, and then you also get this in written form afterwards. So that is just the quick rundown of what Tameana is. This program, I don't like calling it, you know what? I thought about it the other day, and it's not a program, it's actually a deprogram.
It's true. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
What's the other word to put in there?
It's a transformation, it's a journey, but it's a deprogramming, because it's actually one of the things. So I talked about themes, about what we felt through the whole 8 weeks. And one of them was self-doubt and peeling back any self-doubt that you have. There was also a lot about food and relationships with that. And then thinking differently was a big one. How approaches to situations in the life and patterns about how we approach people and experiences. For all 3 of us, we noticed huge shifts in that on whatever level it was that we needed to be going through at that time. So, yes. So what's included? So either, I'm going to say so a lot apparently all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. The transformation, the journey. What does it include? This journey includes either 3 or 4 crystal healing sessions. And the reason there's a difference is because it depends on the master symbol that is picked during the first session. The master symbol that is picked, there are 4 symbols that go in a wee bit deeper. And so when one of those 4 is picked, that means 4 sessions for a full alignment cycle is required. The price does not change. The price is the same regardless. So you receive 3 or 4 crystal healing sessions. Then there is a 5th integration session at the very end in the 9th week. So the journey is 8 weeks, but there's another week that allows you time to integrate a little bit more, and so that we can get together, so we can have an integration session. We can talk about what happened, any questions, anything else that comes up on how to move forward from there. You also get drops on your daily tab, so it's already portioned out for you. And if you're at a distance, I just mail these to you. How beautiful and how easy. And they'll all be labeled, and then you just take one tab a day in the order that they are labeled. Then you also get support through your sessions, between your sessions. Either you can send me emails. We often use Voxer, and you can send voice messages because some people prefer to just speak what they're talking about rather than typing it. Sometimes that's a little bit easier, so that's an option as well. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. And so after each session, you get a follow-up email, and you also, for every single week, get conscious introspection questions. Because Tameana works on the subtle bodies. But to make it even more powerful and more potent, let's work on both planes. One is our consciousness and one is our subconscious. So the introspection questions help you dig deeper into each plane as you are moving through it. So that is the transformation. It's from force to flow, and it's allowing you to embody your pure, authentic expression and truth so that you may walk within your world fully as you, full of joy, full of nourishment, joyfully embodied and walking through this realm. So like I said, opening is on Monday, the 22nd. First 5 people to register and pay next week. So it's from the 22nd to the 26th. The doors will remain open after the 26th, but the first 5 to register will receive 22% off. So like I said, that's over, how much did I say? That was over a $300 savings.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have notes, because I get all like tangenty into the spirit realm, and then I can't remember numbers and digits and stuff.
The 9 weeks is just perfect for completion of cycles and just like new beginnings and a whole integrated systems.
And the 8 tiers is all of abundance.
Exactly.
Right? So if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. I especially love receiving your messages, but if you have any questions, just let me know, and I can answer any of those before we move ahead. I think that's all. Aww. I can always tell when we get near the end of the videos, because all of a sudden I'm like, I start getting like, yeah, like that.
You're all beautiful stardust out there.
You are, and thank you so much for being on this journey with me, and I'm so blessed to be on this journey with you. With all of you. It's
been a pleasure doing this experience as well too, and making these videos.
So much fun.
Oh, so good. Thank you. So
good. Thank you for joining me in this, because I mean, I like literally I was like, hi, do you want to join me on this 8-week journey? What's it gonna do? I don't actually 100% know, but here, take these tabs. So I feel so blessed for both Derek and the third person.
Tameana transformation journey. Sounds beautiful.
Very potent. So thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful long weekend. So much love and abundance and stardust and everything. Yeah. And full moon.
Lots happening. It's amazing.
So much happening. Yeah. Okay. Oh, what time? Sorry, Vicky. It's so funny. These things pop up and I just get all tangenty. What time should we log on to the website? Let's see. I will be putting everything in. It should be actually live as of midnight on Monday morning. How good is that, hey? Yeah, so midnight, Monday morning. Okay. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.